hope that everyone is safe from the hurricane that's still kind of making its rounds. Um, yeah, we did not get what they were expecting, but I know that some of y'all were hit hard, and I pray that all of y'all are okay. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and it's going to be, I guess, like a beginner's guide to basic needs of junk journaling and that genre of crafting. I have this right here to keep y'all's attention till I get started talking about it. Because look, all the pretties. I'm actually going to be making some bag pockets, some double bag pockets while I talk to y'all about this. So y'all can watch me do that, and I won't get bored, and y'all have something to look at while we talk. All right, so I'm going to give y'all the top 10 things that I think are most important when getting started in the junk journal arena. This is just my opinion. There are no hard, fast rules. This is just me and what I have found. And it's something that I wish I would have known when I got started. I really, really do wish that I had known some of this stuff. Of course, I didn't do my research at all. I just kind of threw myself in it and got started and went with it, and now here I am, and I'm like, there might be a lot of people like me, and maybe they'll come across my list, and it might save them some time and some money, and that's always a good thing, right? I've got everything written down over here so I can remember and keep track of it. Nothing is in any particular order as to one being any more important than the other. So first, I'm going to start off with scissors. Now, and one other thing I want y'all to know is I will leave a link to all of these things that I have if I have the link available. I will leave that link down in my description, because my first one is scissors. And I don't mean these scissors. And I don't even mean these. These are not good. I mean 2 or 3 pair of good quality scissors. And when I say good quality, that doesn't have to mean expensive scissors. The scissors that I use are from Amazon. They are certainly not expensive, not in my opinion, but they are quality. They're really good scissors. I also have some really pretty scissors, and they're more for looks than for actually getting through what I need them to get through. They're really pretty, they are. I like them, but as far as doing their job, no. So I would say 2 or 3 pair of really good quality scissors. Of course, you can start with just one, but the link that I'm going to leave y'all, I think you get several pair. I haven't bought them in a long time. They never get dull on me. I'm sure one day I'll have to replace them, but they just don't. They're just good quality, dependable scissors. I love those scissors. Which leads me to my next one, which is fabric scissors. If you plan on using fabric in your journals, and most of us do, not always, but a lot of the times, a good pair of fabric scissors. When I first started out, I did not have fabric scissors because I thought, I've got scissors. That's good enough. They'll cut my fabrics. And then, then I had enough money one day to splurge on fabric scissors. So I bought some, and oh my goodness, I wish I had bought them sooner. Are you kidding me? There is such a big difference, such a big difference. And y'all, I caught my husband one day about to cut some stuff in the kitchen with my fabric scissors. And I squealed and he jumped, and I love these things, and the only thing that gets cut with those scissors is fabrics, hands off. I love those fabric scissors, and I really wish that I had bought them earlier. Bought them a long, long time ago, but had I known, they would have been one of my very first purchases. Okay, I've got to replace the battery in this light here. It's flickering, but I will in just a second. My next one is file folders. Y'all, I go through some file folders. there I was at the beginning of my junk journal journey. Tongue twister. And I was tearing books apart. And don't get me wrong, I still do. I still use books to make junk journals and folios and stuff like that. But y'all, I use file folders for everything. I make journals with my file folders. I make folios with my file folders. I make tags with my file folders. I make pockets with my file folders. Everything I make with my file folders. And you can get, you know what, 50 of them for a really, really good price. And they go so far and they can do so many things. And it's a lot cheaper, easier in my opinion, and more accessible than going out, even to the thrift store. It would be easier to buy the file folders and cheaper than going and buying a bunch of books and tearing them apart. Be super easy and going that route. Also with the file folders, you can make it absolutely any size that you want. It's customizable. Cut it down or glue and sew and make bigger. It's just a lot easier. To me, it's just really smart. Y'all look at my and I sew it around the edges. Y'all are going to see me decorating these. Nicola and I are doing a live video on her Facebook channel September 9th, and I've made a ton of these and I've sewn them, and I'm going to be decorating these. She's going to be decorating some pockets too, but we have 1 pocket, 2 pocket, and 3 pocket. And then if you glued it on something, you'd have 4 pocket. And it's got that glassine feel and sound. I love them. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get another battery for my light. All right, got the battery replaced. On to the next suggestion. And that would be fabric from thrift stores or an antique shop if you can find them for a really good price. So if y'all look back at an older video of mine, I think I made it I think I made it earlier this, no, was it spring? I think it was last spring. I gave y'all a craft room tour. If y'all look at that, y'all would see that I have a fabric hutch. It's a hutch that I made. I flipped from an old chest of drawer. I turned it to my fabric hutch. And I guarantee y'all that at least 97% of that fabric is not fabric pieces from like Joann's or Hobby Lobby or anything like that. It is sheets, bedspreads, shower curtains, wedding dresses, regular dresses, sweaters from thrift stores and some antique shops. You have to go, when you go, you just have to have an open mind of, how could I use this? And look everywhere. A large portion of what I use, fabric-wise, is not for its intended purpose. A large portion of my appliques and such come from cheap wedding dresses that I found at thrift stores. Or prom dresses, things like that. Sometimes earrings, buying costume jewelry at the thrift store. Earrings, necklaces, bracelets, things like that. And I take them apart and I've got appliques or pretty things to hang from my journal. And I love those discoveries. All right, my next one, the paper. And it can be any paper. And y'all, I'm not saying don't buy those pre-manufactured scrapbook paper, because I've bought them and I still occasionally buy them if I see that somebody has made some gorgeous scrapbook paper and I just absolutely have to have it. I will buy it. But it's rare now that I do. The last time that I bought any, I haven't even used it yet, and that was probably close to a year ago. I haven't even used it. And then there's been some that I've bought and I've bought it twice because I've used it so much. But being completely honest, I just personally do not use the scrapbook paper or the mini pads, you know, the little, I think they're 6x6 mini pads. I just don't use them very often. I don't. And it's so much cheaper to use either what you already have laying around the house, magazines, books, stuff that you find at thrift stores. There's a ton, photos, stuff like that at thrift stores and at antique shops. There's also libraries online where you can get free images. And now a lot of times, just being honest here, a lot of times I do not have what I want. And so I will buy digitals from someone. And I have never met an expensive digital like the kind that we use. Never. They're not expensive, and then they're there right in your downloads, and you can use them forever, how many ever times you want, and you don't have to pay $1 million to have them, you know. And, you know, as for me, I found that I wasn't finding everything that I really wanted. So, you know, I make them and sell them myself, and I make them because it's something that's in my brain and I think it would be fun to use, and so I make them and sell them also. So I just think that doing that over buying the mass-produced scrapbook pages, not if there's anything wrong with that. I'm just trying to save y'all money and get the most that you can possibly get, that you're going to use the most. It's going to be the most beneficial to you. Like I said, especially getting started. I don't know about y'all, but I've done nearly every craft in the world since I was like 20 years old. And I never stuck to anything. I did stick to painting for a very long time, and my wrist began to hurt. But then I come across this, it's like, I can still paint here, and I do. And then I get to also do and that's what I love about junk journaling. It's like all of the crafts I love into one. I'm always doing something different and something that I love, you know, in different ways. So, for the paper. All right, the next thing, inks, stains, paint. And let me tell y'all why I said that. Because you're going to want to have things painted and colored or trimmed or whatever, but you don't have to go out and buy these like I know that y'all have seen people talk about distressed inks and oxides and all that kind of stuff. Y'all, shoe polish, coffee, tea, makeup, all of those things will work. Like I said, especially when you're getting started and you don't want to spend $1 million, or you know you're not selling the stuff. If you are selling, or you know, or know for a fact that you're going to sell, well, then you're going to want to invest a little bit more money to be sure that this stuff is going to, you know, stay intact on people, that they're not going to get shoe polish on themselves, or the makeup is not going to rub off. But seriously. And especially, you know, if you're just playing around, you're having fun, you want to be creative. Shoe polish, makeup, coffee, tea. Yes. And y'all, I've been doing this for several years now. And as y'all can see, I'm still a major tea and coffee girl user for sure. Use it in some way, shape, or fashion in almost every single project. These have been coffee dyed. All right, next, templates. You do not, even though there are Etsy shop that will sell you templates, and you know, by all means, if that's what you want to do, they don't cost a whole lot. It's totally up to you. Or you can make your own. Look at the tags that other people make. They're so simple. They're, you know, a piece of rectangle with the two ends cut off and a hole in the middle most of the time. Or you get fancy with a pair of fancy scissors, or you know, a can, and you can curve it or what have you. take you an envelope and slowly peel it apart, put it down on a piece of paper, trace it. You got your envelope template. But there will come a time where you're going to want to make those kinds of things. You know, make your own templates or slowly buy the digital ones and just add to your stash as you go, as you see fit. I know for me, the templates were a big thing when I first started out, and I did not want to buy the Sizzix or, you know, any of the embossing or cutting folders at that time. Do I have that stuff now? Yeah, I do. Even though honestly, I just use what I already know more often than I get my Sizzix out. I do use my Sizzix, I do, on a few things like that. But mostly it's either from old templates that I have or just from you know, my own brain, things that I've made. All right, what's the next one? Thread and needle. And y'all, I think y'all should get some of the big hole needles, big eye, the needles with the big eyes and the thicker thread. There are many, many ways to tie in a signature, to sew in a signature. But there's going to come a point where you're going to say, oh my goodness, I need needle and thread. Just trust me. Just get it and go ahead and get the one with the big eye and the thicker thread and some thinner thread. Just have it there. You will thank me. There will come a time where you're going, yep, you were right. You were right. And if you don't do that, there's going to come a time when you're going to need it. You're going to really wish that you had that. And you got it. And you know, and it's not even just for sewing signatures in that I use the needle and thread. I use it a lot more than you would imagine. But that was just the first thing that came to mind because I use it almost every time to sew in a signature. There's a couple different ways that I do it, but that is one of my main ways. So, all right, what's my next one? Paper towels. Because there's going to come a point you're going to make a mess. And you're going to be glad that you have the paper towels around. And I mean paper towels, not towels. Of course, if you don't have paper towels, you're going to be using those towels. But I almost always have paper towels on my desk, and I've never been sorry. And they've always been used. They come in very handy. Very handy. Of course, I use a lot of ink, and I use a lot of water, and sometimes I even spray on my drink. So, but yeah, definitely use them. I've cleaned up paint with them many a time. Coffee, tea, stuff like that. Absolutely. And not to mention, sometimes I use more of it than I should, and then I've made a mess in this. It's everywhere, and I need a paper towel. And last, but certainly not least, especially at my age, good lighting. If y'all haven't heard any of this, please hear good lighting. It makes such a difference. When I first started this junk journaling venture, I had the light behind me, not in here. I don't craft in here very often. But I had a light behind me, ceiling fan light, and I had some natural light. 2-3 windows are in there, which you'd think would be enough. And I had this chandelier. And I had a desk light. Come to think of it, I had a desk light too. And no, y'all, no, that was not enough. Not enough to where my eyes did not feel strained and were not hurting. So my husband hung me one of those shop lights. No, it's not pretty. It's not, but it's a must for me. It is a must. I don't think that I'd be crafting like I do if I did not have that light. I just don't. I'm very, very, very thankful for that light, and it's been a huge blessing. And they're not expensive. We got that one from Walmart. It's really cheap. definitely, y'all, get you some good lighting. All right. Can y'all think of anything that y'all would add or take away from? For those of y'all that have been doing it for a while and just watched this video out of curiosity, what do y'all think? What would y'all's suggestions be? Alrighty, let's see here. I thank y'all for watching. Let me know down in the comments what y'all think, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.